Welcome back, everyone. Today we've got a longtime friend and a best-selling author, also coach, just overall amazing human being. Most of you know him because he's been always talking about events and showing up with intent and purpose and just making it all about relationships. And when you work this way over a long period of time, you get referrals. And that's really what he's about. So, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for being on.
I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure when I get the opportunity to have a conversation with you, and I'm here to help. However I can help, I'm here to do it and love to do it.
Well, how many how many years has it been since you released the book,
It's
the seven
been
levels book?
yeah, 7L came out in like 2012. So it's been 14 years, and then Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents with Hal came out 2 or 3 years after that. And I'm actually working on one right now. So there's going to be a book come out this year.
Damn. Is it a secret or can you tell me anything about it?
It's about, you're not going to believe this, but it's about how to get the most amount of referrals in the least amount of time without spending a dime. You're not going to believe it. I mean, like, I know that's,
I don't believe it. It's crazy.
It is. I was going to call it the Energy Quadrant. What do you think? Do you think I was going to call it the Energy Quadrant, but I don't want to,
That's so
I use the Energy Quadrant when I teach people how to grade their database.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Well,
I just have them list the people, and then next to each of them, like if you like them, put a plus. If you like, they give you negative vibes, put a negative, right? If you don't know them, you don't even know the name, you put a 0, which is where I think Sean needs to tweak his book a little bit. He needs to have the neutral. He needs to have the neutral feeling, right?
That's right.
And then
in the middle.
And then so you plus or 0 and minus, and then you go through the pluses and you look at the people that like the Tristans of the world, like they really energize you. They bring it. They're successful. They have a high frequency vibration. They tend to be, and you put an X through their plus sign. So now you've got a multiplication sign. So any of those, you put an X through the plus sign, and then you go to the minuses and you look at the minuses and you go, all right, which of these are really, really toxic relationships? And you put a dot above and below the minus sign. Now you have a division sign, and those are your, what we call like your divisors, or your, we're a divisive society right now. And there's some people that have really taken this kind of feeling of being divisive and taken it and run with it. Well, those are the people that you want to, delete or ditch or delegate or whatever it may be. But then you take your multipliers, what I call the multipliers, which is the multiplication sign. And we need to make sure that our life is built around the multipliers. Like we need to spend more time with the multipliers. How do you
identify the multiplier? How do you identify the multipliers?
Yeah. High energy, highly successful. They're doers, they're implementers. If they called me, I'd answer the phone. That's kind of a really good way,
Actually, it also works for the negative ones. You're like, if I'm not going to pick up, you go to there. You go.
It goes voicemail, right? Or they're already blocked. The other thing too on that multipliers is that I feel like the multipliers are, I would pick up the phone if they called, and then they would pick up the phone if I called, and we would probably have a high level conversation. The pluses are, I would probably pick up the phone if they called. I'm not sure if they'd pick up the phone if I called, right?
I'm
sure. And then, yeah. Well, and why is that, right? Is because I'm not calling to ask for something. I'm not calling to, give them a frustration or vent, or I'm calling probably for something good, opportunity, partnership, whatever it may be. But yeah, I love Sean Rawls, and I've loved everything about the Energy Quadrant and believe in it. I try to live my entire life in the multiplier quadrant,
Yeah, well, you have, man. So where do we start with when we're living in a world that's
Yeah.
very divisive,
Yeah.
we're watching it on social, we're watching it on the
Yeah.
media. In some cases, we're watching it in person.
Yeah.
Where do we start with that to connect with people and build these relationships we want?
Yeah. So I'm not going to watch it, right? I don't watch it. I don't watch it on social media. I don't watch it on TV. I don't watch it in person. I have focused my eyes and my energy and my vibrations into the multipliers. So I don't see a lot of that. So I see the good. If you're searching for the good, you're going to find the good. If you're searching for the divisive, man, I'm telling you, you're going to find plenty of divisive out there. So it's not a Pollyanna rose-colored glasses view. It's my life, and I'm going to focus my energies on the more positive environments that are more loving, generous, and appreciative. And so, I'm gonna spend all my time with the multipliers and the plus people, and focus on that. And I think that's one of the big problems with a lot of the database programs that are going around is like call everybody, and it's like you can't call everybody, and you don't want to call everybody. So who do you call? Well, I would start with grading your database by energy. Call the highest energy people first, the plus energy people second. Maybe if you get to the neutrals, you get to the neutrals. But why the heck would you call a bunch of negative and divisive people? I mean, I don't know why you would even invite that into your life. So that's it. And then it goes into, what I talk about all the time is the answer is events, right? Events. I'm going to do events for my multipliers. Here's what's so funny about your multipliers. They probably don't know each other, but if they were looking, they would probably find each other. Dude. So we have the opportunity to connect them. And we are just wrapping up Event Mastery VIP edition. We had 1,200 and
is it virtual or in person?
Yeah, do everything pretty much virtual anymore. And it's a Zoom. We had 1,200 registered for 1,230 some registered for Event Mastery VIP edition. And it was hyper focused on the multipliers. So invite less people, but we're going to invite in a far more personal and individual way. My big class, the Event Mastery in general, is more about inviting your whole sphere. This one was really just inviting your top people. And I'm telling you, Tristan, everybody has their events next week, and they're just so, I mean, we have people that have already gotten we have one guy that's already gotten 20 referrals. His event isn't even till next week, Tristan. I mean,
by the way, when you first, I don't even know how long ago it was, but when you first showed me how to reach out to people before the event and after,
yeah,
like that really changes your business. Now we'll touch on it a little bit, but first, I don't know that you and I had ever talked about energy and really focusing on those higher energy people first. When you told me, it makes sense. Like we all know it, but I don't know that I'd ever verbalized it. It's interesting.
And I apologize because that's
you
one of the first.
Apologize, Michael.
I do. It's one of the first things we do with all of our clients, because here's the thing: no matter who comes to us, they like. Most people are like, well, I'm new to the business. I don't have anybody referring me. Yeah, but you know what? You do have high energy people and low energy people. So let's vote. And what we've discovered, they say 4 out of your 5 next deals will come from your sphere anyway. So it's like, how do we rush that process? How do we make it happen faster? And then the second thing is, let's identify who those 4 out of 5 are most likely to come from. And it is the high energy plus people anyway. So we're going to just focus our energies on the high energy people, which raises your energy to be, we say the energy is in the event. Well, it really is. It raises your energy to be calling and be texting and be in flow with these high energy people. So but the biggest thing is that it works. Grading your database by energy works for anyone. It works for it. You could do it, and you would have a lot of past clients. You would have referral sources in there. But even if someone only did 12 transactions a year, they're still going to have 1,500 people in their phone. So we can take that 1,500, grade it in about 15 minutes. That's all it takes. And you just,
Wow.
because it's so fast, it's plus, zero, minus, and then it's X through the plus, or put the dots above the above the minus sign, but above and below. So you can do it really, really fast. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you've got your people to focus on in the year of the sphere. This
Okay.
is the year of the sphere, right?
Let's go through this, but first I've got one comment and then a question for you.
Okay.
Comment, Ryan. Ryan says, "Hey, Michael, Ryan here from Austin, Texas, a client from the beginning. Love your content."
That has to be Ryan Leahy.
Yep, that's him.
Ryan, how are people on this? I didn't even know people could. Are we live?
We're live, buddy.
Oh man, I would have dressed better.
We're gonna we do a small live one, and just to get some energy. And then what we do is we blast it out, and then that's when you get thousands of views. So
that's awesome.
So
that's
both.
Awesome. Thank you,
And
Ryan.
then Nazan, what kind of events are you doing? Question to you, but let me expand on it a little bit, because I want to hear, and I'm sure Nazan does too, and everybody here, what type of events are we doing for the high energy people? Because you mentioned, well, it was a question that you're asking, but you're going to answer it. How do you rush the referrals? Because that's what I want. Like, I want them.
Yeah. How to get the most amount of referrals in the shortest amount of time without spending a dime, right? The answer to that is events, right? I mean, because you're going to have sponsors offset, or you can charge admission, or you can get referral fees from other professions for referring them. So there's lots of ways to get paid on an event.
Yeah.
So what we have discovered is that you put an event 7 or 8 weeks out, and you focus on, doing your planning, and then of course doing your invitations and confirmations, you're going to get referrals through the invitations and confirmations. But where you're really going to get the most amount of referrals is going to be at the event and then after the event. So
really, even more than the pre-calls and the nurture after the event.
Yeah, the 7 weeks of invitations and confirmations, what you're doing there is building the bridge of the communication, right? You're building this bridge that is a two-way street. And here's what's really cool is when you don't have an event, what are you calling about? So you're hey, I was just thinking about you, or I wanted to circle back, or hey, do you want to do a CMA, or hey, do you want equity report on your home? And it's like, it's just that, right? It's that call, and then you're done. But if you call and they say, yeah, I'd like to go to the event, all of a sudden you have permission to communicate with them every week for 8 weeks, which is the power of events, right?
I never even realized that, but you're right. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really, if you take the 8x8 and the 36 touch from MREA and you combine them, that's really what an event is. Because we're going to do 4 events a year for 36 touches, right? We're going to have 8 or 9 touches, 7 or 8 before, 2 or 3 after, and the one huge touch, which is the event, which is all about making them feel awesome. So to answer the question of what event should we do, the answer to that is whatever is fun for your highest energy people. And you might and what I did is I didn't build a certain event. I built an operating system called the Event Mastery System that will lay under any event and get you referrals. So it doesn't matter what event you do, just put it on top of this operating system that generates referrals. So, but the key is to first focus on the fun. What would be fun for your highest energy people? Not fun for you. Don't worry about, like, you got to be where I got to, which is what's most fun for me is seeing my people have fun. That's what makes me the most fun. I'm a huge baseball guy, but going to the ballpark isn't necessarily the most exciting thing for people, especially if they have the younger kids, right? So me at a park, I'm not a huge go to the park guy for a picnic, but man, we go to a park and we have a shelter and everybody's running around, they're loving it and they're smiling. It's like, I love that. I would rather them have pleasure than me have pleasure. So,
well, give me some good ideas just to get the juices flowing of some successful events that people have had for high energy. They're high energy people.
Yeah. So, we've helped, we've helped thousands of people have over 10,000 events. So I would only push back a little bit that, hey, listen, it doesn't matter as long as it's fun. And I'm going to answer your question, but it's like, all right, so how do we figure out what is fun for these high energy people?
Yeah.
Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to implement the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire strategy. You remember Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah, I remember that. I like
Right.
that.
And it was like you'd answer questions for like $1,000 and then 2,000. And the host would always say, all right, is that your final answer? Right. And you would answer, and eventually there's $1 million question. And you could stop when you wanted to, but hardly anybody ever stopped because they're on a show and they love the cheers and everything else. But like before the host would like push the button, he would always ask to the contestant, hey, listen, is that your final answer? And if, like they said, yes, final answer, they push it, and then you find out if it's the right answer or not. Well, before the contestant says, yes, that's my final answer, if they don't know the answer, they have 3 lifelines. Do you remember that, Tristan?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, right. So they've got 50.
Friend, you can call the audience and then reduce
50-50.
the choices. Yeah.
That's it. So 50-50, phone a friend, or poll the audience. Well, this is how we're going to find out what type of event to run. We're going to call, and we're going to have communication with our high energy people. And we're going to narrow down the options. And I'll give you 3 really good options here in a second. We're going to narrow down the options. We're going to phone a friend, right? And we're going to poll the audience. So I'm going to call let's call them ambassadors and champions, because that's what I call them, multipliers. I'm going to call my multipliers and just ask them. The first question is going to be coffee, beer, or wine, right? So this is what we did for Valentine's week, right? And we'll have probably 400 people doing events next week all across the country. So it's pretty exciting for me. This is a pretty exciting couple weeks. So we're going to call and say, like, I'll just do it with you, Tristan. I'll call you.
Go.
Okay. All right. So, hey, Tristan, I know you're super busy. I've got a couple minutes here. Do you have a couple minutes to answer a few questions?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So I'm thinking about having an event, and I just want like your feedback. You've never led me astray. I always love what you have to say, and you know this place, you know this area better than I do. So first of all, I'm thinking about either coffee, beer, or wine. Coffee, beer, or wine. Like which of those? You're a coffee guy, right?
Yeah.
And you're okay with like a pick me up in the afternoon?
Yeah, even better.
Yeah. So like, are you thinking 4 to 6, 5 to 7, 6 to 8? When would be the best time for like a coffee event?
Around 4-ish.
Yeah. Right. So 3 to 5 or 4 to 6 would be good times. Right. Yeah. So what about like date? Is there a better day of the week? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Is there a day that really like worked better for you?
Probably a Thursday or a Friday.
Yeah, love that. Right. I was thinking Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday because it was like WTF, right? No, I'm just kidding. But it's like, so Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And so that's very cool. And then you know any, and I sincerely want to know, like, when you think of a place to go for coffee, what do you think of around where you live?
Ragamuffin. That's where I meet all my friends.
Is it locally owned?
Yeah, it's locally owned.
Boom. Love that. That is a great suggestion. I will check out Ragamuffins. I've never been there, and I'm going to check them out. How about like a charity? Like, is there a charity you support? Is there a charity you love? I'd like to make this like a coffee for a cause, right? Make it a thanks a lot day and just make it a coffee for a cause. And we'll collect coats and blankets or something like that. Like, is there a charity you like?
There's a local charity that gives to homeless. That's a good one. I like that.
I love it. And then also I have found that when I make calls like this, people want to sponsor, is there a person who might want to partner with me, maybe help us do the event, maybe pay for part of the coffee? Is there somebody you know that might be that type of person?
Yeah, definitely. I could probably think of a few.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'd be awesome. Well, hey, here's the deal. We've taken a couple minutes here. I appreciate your time and don't want to, take any more of your valuable time, but I always appreciate talking to you and thanks for your advice.
Thanks. That's an
Right.
easy conversation, man. I
All
like
right.
it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. I come back to you
Okay.
in a
Sure.
week. All right. First of all, I haven't said I'm doing the event yet. So I haven't promised anything to anybody. But let's say I go ahead and do the event, right?
Okay.
So as you just gave me 5 or 6 great pieces of advice, what are you thinking? What was your feeling during that call?
It was easy. You were just asking questions about what you should do and how I can help.
In your opinion, right?
Easy. Yeah, felt good.
Yeah.
It made me feel significant.
Yeah.
Like
Are you going to go to the event?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It felt like you were just picking. If you would pick like any one of those, I'd be like, yeah, I'm in.
Exactly. So, hey, listen, I went to Ragamuffin. It's just not big enough for what we're looking to do, but we're going to do another local coffee shop called Bennigan's, right? We're going to do Bennigan's coffee. It's not too far from Ragamuffin, but it's a little bit bigger. I think we're going to have 25 people there. And and by the way, I have some ideas for Ragamuffin that I may do later, but we are going to do 4 to 6, which was your suggestion. And I did want to let you know that the 3 people that you suggested for sponsors, we do have one of them that's going to pitch in. And we're going to support that charity that you suggested. So we are doing the event on a Thursday,
cool.
right? Thursday, 4 to 6. It's Thursday, the 12th. And it's at Bennigan's. I know that's maybe going to become your second favorite coffee shop, but it is locally owned. So we're supporting local. And I'd love for you to go. Can I count on you?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Boom. Right.
All right. So I just had to finish notes. Everyone listening in, if you're listening to it live, amazing. I'm going to put up a link. It's joingengen.com, but it's also the Facebook group. Just join it. You go through a process. You're going to have to answer some questions. And if it lines up, then Michael will let you in. If not, you'll end up in another group called Lab Coat Agents, which is not as great.
Everybody here should be in Lab Coat. I mean, come on.
I'm just messing.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Anyway, joingengen.com. A lot of what you're hearing here is what you'll see there consistently over and over, which is a beautiful thing. Okay, so you've got the event, you're planning it, calling. It looks like now you call to confirm it. Now, what does it look like for the event?
Okay. Which part of it, right? So, I mean, there's a lot to it.
Let's pretend I did what did you call it? I wrote it down. The confirmation, the invitations and confirmation. That's all done.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
We're done with that.
Yeah.
Now
I'll take you through all the way to the approach. How about that?
There you go. Let's go.
Yeah. So what you've gotten from me. So the what we call the VIP survey play, which is surveying your VIPs, right? That's what I did with you in the very beginning. Okay. So you survey them, you ask them a bunch of questions, and then the week later or 2 weeks later, you let them know that you are going to do the event. You tell them what you are doing that they advise. You don't really worry about the things you didn't take, like the ragamuffin here, right? You really focus your energies on, you know what, we are taking your advice for 4 p.m., right? And then you say, hey, I am doing the event. We are going to do it. And it is, on Thursday, which you suggested at 4 p.m. Thank you so much for helping that. Can I count on you to come? And they go, yes. Right. Now we're going to confirm every week. We're just going to, hey, let you know, or we have the invitation done, the 8.5 by 11. And I'll say, hey, here's the formal invitation. I didn't send it to you last time. Here it is. And then we're going to add sponsors and we're going to add a charity. So I need to send you what? I need to send you the updated invitation. Hey, so here's the updated invitation by text. Hey, here's the updated invitation by email. And we're just confirming and we're just updating and we're just confirming and we're just updating. All of those are communications.
Yeah.
And then
updating, confirming, updating. I love it.
That's right. That's right. And then you get to the opinion, and then, I mean, the event is one big thing is make sure you've got a registration table at your event because it funnels the energy.
I learned that from you. Well, I learned a lot of shit from you, but that one mainly, we did that when we had our event.
You did.
And it was, dude, night and day. Holy cow. That was for us, that was the key. So thank you for that.
Yeah, having one point of entry. That's the Disney method, right? Because when you do that, you funnel the energy. First of all, if you did your event at a park and everybody just kind of came from their cars and walked in from the park to wherever, the energy is all over. But if they funnel to a registration table, you have funneled the energy, but more importantly, you have taken control of their experience. You now are in control of the flow of their experience through your event. They go to the registration table and then they're going to be pointed or ushered to the next step, right? So if let's say it's at Bennigan's coffee shop, they come, we're going to have a couple of signs in the parking lot that says private event or whatever it may be. And then, you come, you're going to meet a greeter. Greeter's going to say, hey, just register right over there. You're going to go to the registration table. You're going to get a name badge because not everybody knows each other, right? So a name badge, you're going to write your own name on the name badge, and you're probably going to register for the door prizes, right? And then an usher or somebody is going to take you to me. I will be in a far corner. So you're going to come to me, and then I get the chance.
You're like the Godfather, the corner.
Yeah. Well, you triangulate your attractions. If I stood right next to the registration table, people might get confused. Are you in line for registration or are you in line for Michael? So if I'm over in a corner, then the 4 or 5 people that are in line or whatever it may be, they know that they're in the right line at the right place, and we're triangulating the energy. We're spreading the energy within the venue. So I get to love on everybody, right? That's one mistake a lot of people make is they have an event, but they only got a chance to talk to 4 or 5. Well, because
if I didn't do that before I talked to you a while back, and that's actually what gave me anxiety for events, because I felt like I wasn't talking to everyone, and I felt like I wasn't giving everyone attention, and I hated that. So you solved that for me.
Yeah, the golden ticket strategy is one of the best things I've ever come up with, and I totally came up with it out of necessity at events, and it's really so they're ushered to you because you have the golden ticket, right? So here's an example. Here's an example of a golden ticket, which is a casino chip. We did that for a casino night. This is an example of a golden ticket, which is a limo. So they come to you for some type of token. We call it the golden ticket strategy because it kind of comes from the Willy Wonka thing.
Yeah.
They get the token from me. Let's call it a golden ticket. And then so I get a chance to love on them. There's also a line. So you also don't get into the 15-minute conversations where somebody dominates you the whole time of your event because there's somebody waiting next in line. And then you give them the golden ticket and they go get in line to get their coffee or their food or their pie or their whatever it is, right? This is an operating system that lies underneath your event. So it literally works for any event. They go get in line for coffee. They give the golden ticket to the barista. The barista makes whatever coffee they want. They get their coffee. And by that time, they're in and mingling in the event, and they have the opportunity to connect with other people.
Dude, I love that. Hold on. I can't write as fast as you talk, Michael, so relax.
I apologize.
Hold on. All right. All right. So now this awesome, amazing triangle. What you also told me about prizes, right?
Yes.
If you want to throw in prizes, what would that look like?
No, if you're going to run the event mastery system, there's going to be door prizes, right?
Perfect.
So
how does that look?
So because when they register, they now have a piece of paper that they can. I mean, the door prize entry system is an incredible referral system, because one thing is that they want to win the door prizes. The second thing is, Tristan, we all have these questions that we would love to ask our sphere, but we're afraid it would get awkward. Like a referral question, like the magic question, which does their DISC. But there's all these questions that maybe we would love to ask them if they're thinking about investing in real estate in the future. Well, here's what we can do. We can put those questions on the door prize entry form. So when they fill it, and the other nice thing is they're 100% at choice. So when it says something like, out of all the people who is the next person would be buying, selling, or investing in real estate, they can write their name and mobile in, or they don't have to. So they're at choice. So they're at a comfort level. And, some people do think that the more referrals they give, the better chance they win the door prizes, but I'm not going to support or deny that. But it is one where they fill it out, right? They fold it, they give it to the registration table person, and they're ready to go to the next step in the process.
Okay.
And door prizes. One of the best door prizes is a 36 to 43 inch flat screen TV. You can get it off of Amazon for less than $150. It's a 36 to 40, so it's a big, it's a great big prize that people are thinking $500 to $1,000, and you can get a really, really nice one that's better than any one they have in their house for less than $150 on Amazon.
Dude. Okay. Yep. All right.
That's a great door prize.
That is an amazing door prize. We've got so build up. We've got at event. You've given us some. I don't want to give everything out because I want people to go and learn more with you and to go up to the event. Now, let's wrap up and tell me, after the event, what's optimal for reaching out to people that's worked?
Well, optimal is appreciation, as always, right? So we're going to reach out with appreciate. What you appreciate appreciates. So if they attended and you want them to attend future events, like what you appreciate appreciates, right? What you appreciate will increase in the future. That's what the second appreciate means. So if you want them to attend in the future, you need to express your appreciation for them attending this event. So reaching out either through a text message, phone call, or a handwritten note, or all three, is a great way to approach that. The smaller the event, the more touches you can do. And then, like I said, the fortunes in the follow-up. You have to realize, and you do realize this, is that during the invitation process, you are giving value. We all have to realize an invitation to an event is a gift. It is a gift for the other person. They love it. They like, oh my gosh, you want me to come closer to you? You want me to come to this event? You want to give me something free, right? And then the second thing is, there are the people who came to the event. Well, whatever you're giving at the event, it was of value. Whereas if we deliver things, we don't know they're of value because we had to deliver it. But if they came and got it, there was something at that event that was valuable to them. Either the connections, the gift, a cup of coffee, the networking, the energy, something was of value. So that you have given value because they came to the event. Well, you've given the value. Well, as your follow-up, you got to realize that's when you are at your most referable, because you have delivered value to your sphere or to your multipliers or to your VIPs, whatever it may be. You've given the value. Now just thank them. Just thank them for being there, and they're going to refer you. They're going to connect you. They're going to give you opportunities. It's amazing what they're going to do for you.
That's cool, man. All right. So this other piece I also learned from you. By the way, as I'm talking to you, I'm going through all those different times we've talked, and you showed all those different graphs or graphics that show leading up to, and then another one. I remember those. You also mentioned that there's value in reaching out to the people that you invited that didn't show up. Can you go through that? Because I learned that from you.
Yeah. So there are two things in life that people want. They want to be invited, and they want to be missed when they're not there.
Mm.
So we are going to first contact all of the referrals. So we're going to get referrals. We're going to get referrals for our sponsors. Those are the first people we need to follow up with, of course. Then we're going to follow up with all the attendees and let them know and express our appreciation. We're also going to follow up with our staff of volunteers, our team, anybody that helped us at the event. We're going to follow up with all of them. We're going to follow up with the venue, right? So we're going to follow up with all the prime party players. And then we have the people who became no-shows or they RSVP regret. We're going to just let them know, hey, we had a great event. Maybe we even send 3 or 4 pictures to show them that we had a great event. And we're just going to say, hey, listen, we had a great event with one exception. And that exception was you weren't there. We missed you. Do you mind if we invite you to future events?
I like that. And what's the response you typically get?
Yes. Right. If they RSVP regret or they were a no-show, 100% that they're going to say yes. Now, I have gotten it to where I didn't hear from someone that like they didn't reply to any of it. They didn't reply to the calls. They didn't reply to, and yet I had them on this multiplier list. Well, then I'm going to reach out and just say, hey, listen, I communicated quite a few times and didn't get a response. Is everything okay? Is everything okay? Now, from those, I would say 1 out of 10 times I get information that says, yes, my aunt is a realtor. I understand what you're doing. I would love to, go to these events, but when I go to sell my house, I'm going to use my aunt. Right. And then I figure out which car is the aunt's and make sure the brake lines are cut. Just kidding. Just kidding, Rhonda. Just kidding, Rhonda.
That's for everybody. That's for everybody that wasn't paying attention. Now you are. There you go.
That's right. That's right.
That's funny and great and amazing. Okay, you gave me a really good overview with some details on pre, during, and post.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot more to it because
there is.
You've probably added so many more pieces along the way since we last talked. Where do people get the whole thing? How do people join you in understanding this amazing way to make business?
Well, I appreciate that. And I truly believe the answer is events. If you're a local company who's looking to get more business, it's events. And what is the answer to how to get the most amount of referrals in the shortest amount of time without spending a dime? The answer is events. So the answer to MREA is events. The answer to 7L is events. The answer to real estate prospecting, which is a really, really good book by Tristan, is events, in my opinion. Right.
I believe you up in it. There you go.
So there's a push. So eventmastery.com is where you can find out more about what we teach and how we do it. But if you go into joingengen.com, joingengen.com, that's probably the best place to start. I'm not here to sell anyone on anything, but find out what we're doing. And if you like what you hear, then jump into Event Mastery. It starts in March. We are doing April events. Here's what I don't want people to do. They hear about it today and they decide to do an event next weekend. That is not going to do anybody any good. You're gonna be the person that says, I hate events. And it's like, yeah, because you winged it, right?
I hated them before I met you, dude.
Yeah. And trust me, that's more common than we probably think. But it is one of those where it's like, all right, you need 7 weeks to do an event. You need to now, not more than that. You don't need 12 weeks. You need 7 or 8 weeks. And here's why is if I told you that I have an event in April, you probably are not, now let's just say you're a multiplier or somebody in my sphere. If I say I'm having an event in April, you will not mentally like put a check mark that you need to remember that. But if I say, let's say it's March 3rd, and I say I'm having an event next month in April, there is a part of the brain that triggers in your sphere that I need to note that. Like I need to remember that somewhere. And so like you don't want to have you don't want to tell people about your breakfast with Santa right now. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to register it. Nobody, unless you're doing breakfast with Santa in April. But
Be interesting.
it would be. There is a Christmas in July charity that I support every year, which
That's
is kind of
cool.
fun. You know, paint houses and go put on gutters last year. But bottom line is that there is something powerful about the events next month. If you say you have an event in 2 weeks and they're just first hearing about it, that you actually lose points because it's almost unprofessional. So letting people know that, hey, listen, this is coming up in 6 weeks, it really shows your professionalism. And Tristan, I think one really powerful bottom line thing about events is you don't just do events for referrals. You do events for who you become. It really is a Misagi, right? Which is what Gary Keller is really talking about is it really is a challenge. It really is a goal. And what happens when you do an event is similar to what happens to when you achieve a goal. You gain confidence, you gain influence, you gain power, you gain clarity, you gain a network, you gain cheerleaders and referral sources. So don't just do an event to get referrals. I know a lot of people come to me because referrals are guaranteed when you do event mastery. We guarantee if you don't get a referral, then we give you your money back and no questions asked. You can take an event mastery as many times as you want. But they come to us to do to get referrals, but you don't do events just to get referrals. You do them for who you become. You become a stronger person and you become more referable by simply doing an event.
All right, a couple of questions before I let you go.
Yes.
Actually, quite a few, but I'm going to let them be answered inside of the Facebook group, joingengen.com. That's join, GENGEN.com. Go there, ask any questions we didn't answer here. Michael or his team will get to that one. But here's a question I have for you. It was earlier, so I missed it and it was good. If you're new to an area and you want to do events, what would that look like?
Yeah, that's one of the best things you can do because you don't know anybody, and that's actually a benefit because you don't have any 1 level or 3 level or bad relationships. Yeah. You can literally start out in a new town with a new reputation as being an influencer. Well, how do you do that? You do that by hosting an event. And my suggestion on that, the short answer with like a longer bunch of questions after it is I would network. I would go to networking groups with the goal that I would be having an event in 8 to 12 weeks. Ooh. So I would go to the networking events and I would network. And of course we have networking mastery for that, but you can learn how to network a lot of different places. But you go to these events, right? So you go, and you should be doing this if you're new anyway, because you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn about the lay of the land. You're going to learn about the politics of the area. You're going to learn who the players are. You're going to learn who the connectors are. And so you go to these network and your job is you're going to eventually invite everybody you meet from these networking events to your event. And guess what? They're going to come. Because you know what people that go to networking events like to do? They like to go to networking events. So you're going to have a networking event. So you're farming.
Works, buddy.
Do what?
Networking works.
Networking works. Networking and networking. That's what I teach.
I like that.
Networking and networking. Networking is networking with the people you've met, right? Those are the events.
That's the best.
Yeah.
I love that. It's always awesome to talk to you, man.
It's always awesome talking to you. You always ask the best questions. I was just on another podcast and it was okay. Because they didn't really know what to ask, but this is, you're genuinely curious and you get it at such a high level.
Well, dude, I understand the power of what you've broken down because this is where I would start every business. This is it. This is the core of growth. You've broken it down really well.
Thank you. I can't wait for the book.
Everyone, please. Yeah, man, you break it out there. Let me know because we'd love to help you also blow that up. So that's going to be great. When this comes out recorded, I'll probably break it down and I'll post it into the Facebook group as well.
Yeah.
And then I'll tag you, and then I'll put my notes in there so it can blow up. And then just do me a favor, when this comes out fully, probably like tomorrow or the next day.
Okay.
Do you want me to put the link to join GenGen, or is it a different link you want me to add to the bottom?
Joingengen.com is fine. If you want, I mean, the eventmastery.com is fine as well. It's up to you.
Text me that one,
Okay.
because I think more people will connect there to get the information they want. I'd
Okay.
like them to go through the whole process,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Because I think they'll get a lot more out of it for their business.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you for watching live, and if you're watching this recorded, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks, Tristan.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you.